Verdict.
Welcome to Vinyl Verdict. I'm Bell.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Plouffe.
And I'm Buddy Guy.
Oh, he stole it from me.
I know, I
the
may just
joke.
redo it just so I could do it. Wiener. Jamie, tell us about your pick.
This is Buddy Guy. Sorry, my pick is This is Buddy Guy. We're listening to Buddy Guy.
This is.
Yeah.
That's the album name.
Buddy Guy is one of the heroes of the blues, along with the three kings of the blues, which are Albert, B.B., and Freddie King.
Who's Albert?
Albert King. He was a blues musician.
Nah, no, I don't want to learn about this. I want to learn about Buddy Guy. Tell me
Okay,
more.
so anyway, so they're all contemporaries. So Albert, Beebe, and Freddie King are all contemporaries of Buddy Guy, along with some other guys like Memphis Slim, and like folks like that.
Well, he was a session guitarist for Muddy Waters, wasn't he?
That's right. He was a session guitarist for Muddy Waters. He was also a session guitarist for Chess Records, which is where he was located.
He didn't break out until like the 90s.
Who? Buddy Guy?
Yeah.
No, Buddy Guy. This is recorded on Vanguard Records. But,
no, I mean he didn't get a breakout album until 91, which is aptly titled "Damn Right, I've Got the Blues."
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Buddy Guy had been in the industry for years at that point. So he started as a musician in 1959, where he played in a contest and got a recording contract out of it. He played on a number of albums for Chuck Berry and other artists that were signed for Chess Records. But this album came out in 1968. It is well into his career as a musician, and he had just put out an album of his own original material or material that he recorded. And this is an example of what his live set would sound like. It's funny. So like the Sam Cooke album we covered last season, which was recorded at a place called the Harlem Club, which is in Miami. This place is the place he recorded this one is the New Orleans Club in Berkeley, California.
Wow.
So
these guys really
they have no idea
geography.
where they are. Yeah, they have no idea where they are. But yeah, around the time this album came out, he had only been recently releasing as a solo artist, having been part of Muddy Waters band for a number of years.
Yeah, none of it was like performing incredibly well.
I guess it depends on if you're into the blues. So the blues had a big breakout in the late 60s.
Yeah.
Just about every artist in the blues was amplified by the interest in the blues from bands like Cream and Jimi Hendrix.
Totally.
So Buddy Guy was one of the inspirations for Cream and Jimi Hendrix. They've all come out and said that he was someone they admired.
Oh, absolutely, but he wasn't a commercial success for like
not at all.
Decades.
No, and I don't even know if he's a commercial success. Now he owns a bar in Chicago called Buddy Guy's Legends, and they play blues there regularly. But I like this song. It's kind of interesting. It captures a point in time when he was touring like a huge amount of
constantly
in small clubs. But I'm kind of interested what you guys think about it.
Plouffe?
I really liked it, but I like blues music. I don't know. I haven't listened to Buddy Guy specifically, but I've listened to a lot of Muddy Waters, so I'm sure I have listened to a bunch of Buddy Guy.
Sure.
I thought it was pretty interesting when this came on, and I liked it so much, and I had never really heard of him. Like, I know who he is now after I've done a bunch of research, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course. How did I not know who this is? But I had no idea. Like, I've heard the name Buddy Guy, but I've never attributed it to a great artist or anything like that. Yeah. So I was pleasantly surprised. And yeah, it sounds like the blues. It's
the blues.
I'm not going to say it's incredibly unique.
No.
Or
he's not breaking any ground.
He's not breaking any ground. He's not like doing anything out of the box, but it is good blues music. And he is a solid guitarist and solid blues singer.
Yeah. I thought something that distinguished it from some of the other live recordings that we've listened to is that you can really hear the audience.
Yeah, you can. Even I was reading something on Wikipedia about how it wasn't until he started doing like live albums and incorporating the audience and stuff into it that like it really started doing better.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are just live. Like they're just so much better live than they are in the studio. And it's because they're so good with the crowd work, with getting into the energy that the audience helps provide you.
Yeah.
Like, and especially probably as like a session guitarist originally, I think it's that time to shine that like really helps kind of, I don't know, pull them out a bit and makes this whole album a little more interesting.
I think it's sort of interesting too. So Buddy Guy is 89 years old.
Yeah,
now.
he's old. He's super old. He's still playing.
He still tours.
Yeah.
He's actually coming to Vancouver this year. I've seen Buddy Guy twice. Once in his 60s.
Dang.
And
How
then-
old were you? 3?
Well, oh, wait, no, that was 30 years ago.
Yeah. If he's 89
No.
now, if he was in his 60s, that's at least 20 plus years ago.
Yeah. No, he would have been in his late 60s, early 70s.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a little better.
That was at was it
Molson Amphitheater or
Sasquatch?
something? Oh, okay, sure.
Or Oshaga? One of those. The one, and then
Isn't there
once
a
at the was that
Isn't there a big blues festival in
the Montreal
Toronto?
Blues? Yeah, in Toronto, no, but there is the one in Montreal. Or no, there's the Ottawa Blues Festival.
Yeah, Ottawa. That's
Yeah.
where it is. Yeah,
I didn't
my
see him
dad
there. I
goes
saw him
like
in Montreal.
my dad goes like every year.
Yeah,
He always goes to the blues fest.
yeah. I didn't go to the one. I went to the one. He played Montreal Jazz Fest, and I saw him there. So, anyway, Mr. Bell.
You know, never listened to Buddy Guy. Great name. Give him
Buddy.
that.
Yeah.
Bonus point for the great name. I like the vibe on this album. You know, blues is one of the genres where I don't feel like I can say too much. I haven't listened to a ton. The only blues I've ever listened to is on this podcast, last season, really. And I feel it felt me to not really have many thoughts on individual songs, but overall, I thought it was okay. There's some great guitar licks. There's some soulful singing, and it does follow some blues tropes, like a lot of the songs being about losing a woman.
Yep.
I still enjoyed most of the songs being told. I just kind of wish that there was more change-ups in sounds, but maybe it's just that this is an old album. Like, this is what the genre was.
Yeah.
So, like, there was no... I mean, or this is experimentation for all I know.
No, not really.
No, this is the blues. You're getting 12-bar blues here.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is very stereotypical blues, and I find that no one really strayed from the formula all that much unless it was like a really incredible guitarist or someone with a really interesting bass. Because the blues is pretty samey, but like, I don't know, you differentiate it by being a really good singer or crazy good guitarist.
Or a combination of both.
Or a combination of both. Like I'll pick up Texas. I've got a copy of Texas Flood that I'll probably pick at some point.
Stevie Ray
by
Vaughan.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, SRV. Rip
Yeah.
Stevie Ray.
He was too beautiful for this world.
Yeah, died too young.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Texas Flood himself.
But yeah, this is definitely very stereotypical blues.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like it's all really good, but yeah.
But Buddy Guy's backing band on here, I thought I'd give him the credit on here. So there's a baritone saxophone player. The fellow's name is Leslie Crawford. The bass player is Jack Myers. The drums, the guy's got a great name. His name is Glenway McTeer.
Yo, McTeer.
Yeah,
He's crying all the
name.
time.
Yeah.
Crying while he plays the blues.
Guitar is played by Tim Kaihatsu, who's a Japanese fellow. Tenor saxophone is both played by A.C. Reed and Bobby Fields. And then there are two trumpeters, George Alexander and Norman Spiller. So it's a pretty big backing band.
Is Buddy also playing guitar?
Yeah.
He is, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, it's implied. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Plouffe.
Well, I don't know. He just said the Japanese guy on guitar, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, rhythm guitar, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. And so there you go. You want to give it one last listen, or do you have any more thoughts?
Let's get one last listen.
Hey, and a circle always an amen. Give it all up. Give it all up. No, I'm around.
I got my eyes on you.
Yeah, this one's kind of neat. It starts off as the action is already beginning. So there's no beginning to the album. There's no beginning to the song. You just get, you're partway through him playing a song already.
This one's actually not on Apple Music.
Really?
The album starts with, it says 2 things I used to do. Like, it knows there's a first,
What?
it's just not on Apple Music.
Oh, weird.
I wonder why.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
there's
was writing notes and I was like, wait a minute, I'm off by a song somehow. And I had to go move them all. I wasn't a huge fan of the like waddling beat in this one. I was like, okay, it feels like a standard blues song to me, but maybe it's my novice ears.
No.
I don't know. I just kind of like,
No, the whole thing is very
was a song.
standard.
Yeah, it's a standard. Yeah. In fact, the next one is a blues standard. He does a little guitar solo around 2:30. There's a little guitar solo in most of these songs.
Pretty much every song is going to have a pretty good little guitar, crying guitar kind of solo. Yeah.
But yeah, he gets going, and then the song gets going.
Yeah, I like the little bit of horn that kind of squeaks out at 15 seconds or so
Yeah.
to accompany the guitar.
Yeah.
He's a good blues singer. It's very typical lyrics, crying over a woman.
Yeah.
Really fun crying guitar solos. I like the crowd, especially the clapping around 2/3 during the solo.
Yeah. Crowd gets rowdier as the recording goes on.
Yeah, and then I love that screaming, almost screaming that Buddy kind of does when he comes back after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. It's a standard blues song. He performed it in a standard way, but he's got kind of like a brass section behind him.
Oh yeah, I love the horns. Yeah, it's a great addition.
Things I Used to Do, which is a blues standard written in 1953 by Guitar Slim, which is another great blues name.
Yeah,
that it is.
The original version was produced by Ray Charles, who we covered before.
I don't mind this one. I put it to jam.
Yeah.
I don't know if I go that far. Listening back, it's good though. I think it's interesting that the guitar riffs are always pretty separate from the singing.
Yeah.
It almost makes it feel like the guitar is acting in place of backup singers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He uses the guitar as a secondary vocalist. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe on the original recording there is a backup, or like a not a choir, but like backup singers.
I really like how the brass just kind of gives it a solid background for the guitar to noodle over too.
Sure.
It's a more laid back song. Very good. I don't know. It's okay. I don't have a ton of notes for this one.
There's a little saxophone in it.
Yeah.
There's a little everything else.
Saxophone.
Yeah, and then we get into Fever, which is another standard of blues blues and R&B.
Fun crowd work.
Yeah, the crowd is loud.
Yeah.
They peak the mics at the start while they're shouting.
If you don't like live albums, you probably won't like this one. Luckily,
that's a good point. Yeah. I would say a good portion of my collection is live music.
I like live stuff too, because I like the way they change things.
I feel like it gives a better impression of who they are as an artist if you listen to them live.
Yeah, I mean, one, you'll be able to tell if they can actually play their music.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because, a lot of people do a ton of takes and then they cobble it all together. I mean, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but some people do.
The worst concert I've ever been to is a Billy Talent concert. I went there and the guy can't sing, and they didn't play very well.
Listen, take that back. Save that story because I'm going to choose a final verdict. If they ever re-release their albums because they're worth like $300 on Discogs, I will cover it.
And it was the worst concert I've ever been to. But
my worst concert was Snoop Dogg.
Because he did the Snoop Lion.
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
I was excited for Snoop Lion. He came out to "Here Comes the King," and then he just played covers of Biggie and Tupac songs. It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah.
Yep. But Fever though.
There's a little solo around 2 minutes that follows the lyrics, which is kind of interesting. The solo follows the tune of the lyrics for the rest of the song, and then it gets wilder as it goes on. It's kind of interesting.
Very, very long, at almost 7 minutes, mostly for the guitar solos and then the long outro plus some crowd work.
Yeah.
It's a good cover of Fever. I like how he shouts Fever at times. He's got some good energy.
The backing band really propels it along too.
Yeah.
But it gets more frantic as the fever rises, if you will.
You give me fever.
Yeah. And then there's the little saxophone solo-y thing at the end just before it ends.
Yeah, I like this kind of sexy song with the clapping and the horns and everything. The song just felt long 4 minutes and 30 seconds, I checked the time because
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, still going. I do like the last minute of the song where he just starts riffing with the saxophone player.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
It almost redeemed the fact that it felt very long because it's just like a slow kind of march and pace.
Yeah. It's definitely too long, but it's alive. It's
More
a
like
live album.
you give me sleepies. Am I right?
Oh,
You give me
Fever.
the next song, which is "Knock on Wood," which is another cover.
the drums are good.
Yeah,
I like the subtle little switch ups they do to keep things feeling fresh. Good shouty singing here. This is where I noticed the stereo separation with the horns being on the right and the trumpets and the saxophones on the left.
yeah,
And they're not super forward, so it feels really immersive.
yeah.
I actually didn't notice a crowd very often. So like in this one, I don't notice a crowd at all. So it means like when you do notice them, like in the previous song or I think in the last song, it like really draws you back in.
Yeah, I guess the liner notes don't mention it, but I looked it up. The crowd was like 4 feet from the stage.
Nice.
So it's a very small club.
That's the
probably
best.
like 400 people.
That sounds fantastic.
But yeah, I liked how they used a bunch of power chords during the knock on wood part. He gets real loud. The song is originally written by Eddie Floyd,
Cool.
who made it a #1 hit like several years before this.
Yeah, I thought it had a really big start. It's got some cool fuzzy guitar.
Yeah.
I like how everything just gets accentuated around the chorus, but it's super short. You kind of expect it to stick around longer, and then it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost 5 minutes long, but this one didn't feel too long to me.
No.
Just a bit repetitive near the end, but the crowd kind of helps with that.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite one on the album.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Yeah. This is an excellent cover. And then we get into the other side of the album, which I will refer to as the bluesy side of the album because it's more actually bluesy. This one starts off slow. This one's I Had a Dream Last Night, which is the start of side 2. It starts off slow and bluesy like you'd expect from a blues song.
Yeah, it's got some good guitar, good vocals. It's really the horns for me though that kind of make or break this album. They always add like that needed layer
Sure.
to help elevate it, make it a bit more interesting than just like a standard like 3 or 4 piece blues band.
Yeah.
Lots of soloing on the second half,
Yeah.
which is mostly good, but some of it is a little whatever.
Yeah.
But that's live for you.
This one you get a solo around 320, which is, and the solo is also kind of slow and bluesy, which I kind of appreciate. This one is written by Buddy Guy himself.
Cool, good for him.
Good for him.
Well, it's just kind of rare from a session guitarist. That, I don't know. I feel like they play a lot more covers and stuff. Blues in general too. Like
Blues is all covers.
blues and jazz
Yeah.
is tends to be a lot of
A lot of
covers.
standards, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of standards
Yeah.
that you play over with your little spin on it, and that's it. So
Mhm.
it's nice to hear that he wrote a few originals too, at least on this album.
Yeah. Let me get into 24 Hours of the Day, which is
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
We're not
I'm
gonna
sorry,
share
Bell.
my thoughts.
Did you have any thoughts on that one?
I'm not usually a fan of these slower, more lyric-based blues songs, but I do like the imagery and the theming in this one. It's not bad. The guitar solos are also okay, and the drums and horns shine again.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
They sure do.
I thought so too.
How many hours are in the day?
24
24 hours.
Of the day?
of the day.
Yeah, it's a fine song.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Lyrics aren't bad. It's short.
Yeah.
I don't really find it super interesting, but it's short enough that I don't like it stays fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote short and sweet at under 3 minutes. Very tight, fun drums. Wouldn't have minded one quick guitar solo.
Yeah. This one features basically the entire group.
Yeah.
Like doing something. Yeah, right though. Very tight. That was a note I had. But yeah, also very short and sweet. Well, relatively short and sweet. And then we get into sorry, Belle, did you have any thoughts before I move on? Okay.
You were wrong.
We get into I was wrong.
You
Belle
were
did not
wrong,
have any
Jamie.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Which is the next song written by Buddy Guy.
That's great because I like how he sings.
Yeah.
He's just kind of wailing away. There's more nice guitar solos. I like the triple horn notes near the end. It's a good song.
Yeah. It's got a little solo around 220 that really jazzes it up a little. And just like all the other songs, it has like a little solo.
Yeah.
And then he gets on with his day. Some blues guitarists are very light on guitaring, like their guitar work on it. Like B.B. King is mostly, if you listen to his live stuff, it's mostly him talking or singing, and then he like gets on his guitar and plays like
Plays a ditty and that's it.
and then just holds onto the guitar for the rest of the song.
Yeah. Steps away, holds the mic, and
and then
holds the guitar around his neck, and then comes back to it.
Yeah,
plays a few licks, and then
gets
goes
on
back to singing.
But yeah, Buddy Guy seems to be one of those musicians that's like very involved into the the songs. And then we get into the last song. I'm not the best. He's not the best. I don't know. The song's kind of long.
It's
7 minutes long. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of long. I'm not the best. And I just got to accept that. I like there's more crowd noise here. It seemed to disappear over the last couple songs. I kind of mentioned it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun energy with the drums. It's a 7-minute song that doesn't feel super long. I think I just like jam sessions in songs.
Sure.
Like I like it where it feels more like a natural, just like you got to this moment in the bridge and you're just kind of like staying there and keeping the energy going. I think riffing and random vocalizing just hits different. The last one I didn't really have any thoughts because there isn't much going on in that sense, but this one here kind of brought me back in on the album.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good way to end it out.
Yeah, I'm Not the Best is the last song written by Buddy Guy. It has a solo around 1:15 that I really liked. And then it has a cool bass line through the whole song.
Mm-hmm.
Like on my stereo, this song sounds incredible.
Yeah.
But it's a little long. But there's some good crowd work.
Yeah.
And he profusely thanks the audience for showing up.
He thought it was going to be empty in there.
You never know, dude. Like
it's true.
Like he's not exactly a household name even to today,
especially
but
back
he's
then,
he's well regarded among his peers. But like,
he's one of those musicians where I can't remember who it was. Like your favorite rapper's rapper.
Yeah,
right?
He's your favorite
rapper.
bluesman's bluesman.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, so I don't know. I also thought that it was a pretty good ending. Really good crowd work. It is long, but they're kind of ending a live show, so I'm not super surprised that it's a long outro. But yeah, it's good. Tell us about the record, Jamie.
Yeah,
you're holding it right now.
Okay, so I bought this record, and this is an original pressing, and it was sealed when I bought it. So
really?
It was a sealed.
And you
copy.
opened it?
I opened it because I wanted to listen to it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
So the front, you get Buddy Guy wailing. He's just singing away there.
Yeah, it's a double exposure, his face and then him playing guitar.
Yeah. It's very cool. It says his fantastic in-person performance recorded live.
The exclamation point is there if you're wondering. He wasn't just excited.
No. Oh,
live.
I am excited. And then on the back is like a superimposed like him 3 times playing his guitar.
Mm-hmm.
On the back it says, "This is Buddy Guy," again.
In case you weren't sure.
And then it repeats his fantastic in-person performance recorded live! Exclamation point. Then it's just got the track listing, and it's got our musicians recorded on the back, and then our location. And special thanks to the folks at the New Orleans house. This is a stereo record, but it notes that it is also playable in mono. So Vanguard Records, the label it was recorded on, was primarily a classical and jazz label, but they recorded some people over the years you might not expect. Like Sinead O'Connor was signed to Vanguard Records.
Cool.
But this one is a Phonodisc pressing of it. So Phonodisc was another independent label in Canada, and they pressed Vanguard for them. It's a pretty standard thing. I like the sleeve. It's kind of cool and colorful, but there's nothing about it that's special. It's just a Phonodisc there label. And then the label itself just says this is Buddy Guy, and the track listings on both sides. It is not heavyweight vinyl, but it is a heavyweight sleeve. It is extremely thick.
Nice.
But that's it. It was a brand new copy when I got it. Never been opened, but it is an original pressing.
How much you pay for it?
I paid $4.99.
Hell yeah.
$499?
$4.99. And I think I got good value out of it. I really like
robbed whoever you got that from. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Bell, you go first.
Well, this is a hard album to place. I don't think it's a bad album. It's kind of like what Jamie was saying last week in the Lucy Rose album. The album was good, but my enjoyment is less than the rating I would give that. I found myself grooving a few times, but I just really don't think it's on for me. I'm going to put it in the 38th spot below Superflight by Cassiopeia and above Life by Yeet. If you like blues, maybe check this out. I don't know. Don't take my recommendation or my don't let me dissuade you. I have no idea. Plouffe?
I think Buddy Guy is pretty good. It's definitely not the best blues I've ever heard, but he's got the right voice and the right guitar skills to pull it off and be his own act rather than just a session musician. I like a lot of live albums, and this one's no exception, but it's also nothing incredible. And so, I don't know, I give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Like, I think he's good, but I'd still probably go listen to other artists before I would actively seek out and select his music instead.
Yeah, I agree with that. That makes sense. I agree with Bell too. I think so. So this one is, to me, a good time capsule of like a point in his career. I've seen Buddy Guy live more recently than this, and he plays basically the same high energy show.
Oh yeah, I'd go see him live. Like he's good enough to see live.
Even
sure.
as a 90-year-old man.
Yeah.
I'm sure he plays very well still. But I like it as a time capsule. I like it as like an album that I put on while I was cooking. I had it on the other day while I was making dinner, and it's one of those albums you can just put on, listen to, and enjoy without really thinking about it too much, like you were in the audience maybe. So in that respect, I'll probably rate it something like a 9 out of 13. You're right, it's not the best blues I've ever heard. It's not even my best album that has Fever on it. I probably have at least 2 other albums that have Fever on it. But I enjoyed it. And I'm going to enjoy whatever we listen to next week. What are we listening to next week?
Well, you say that, but we'll see. I am picking an album that I believe either just came out on vinyl or it was recently repressed or something. Comfort Eagle by Cake from 2001.
Short skirt, long jacket?
That it's the album that has short skirt, long jacket.
Let's go.
Yep. So we'll talk about that next week. I'm pretty excited because I like Cake quite a bit, and that it's a great album. So stay tuned.
Well, listen, it's time for aftercare.
Oh,
we talk a lot about music, but I want to know something different. What would be your number one meal? Someone's like, I'm going to cook you the best version of your favorite food. What are you choosing? Plouffe?
Oh, man.
Oh, God, don't put me on the spot. I love food. I love all food, and I would rather just cook it myself, probably.
Well, you failed that question. Jamie?
Jamie?
You ever have like a really, really good lasagna before?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. I would love to have like I would love to have like the perfect version of a lasagna.
I'm a simple man. Honestly, give me like a really good steak with some mashed potatoes and some steamed carrots.
Oh, so you're a mashed potato guy with
yeah.
steak, eh? Like I like a good steak.
What would you put on the side of your steak?
Like a baked potato, maybe.
Asparagus.
No, baked potato, that's messed up.
Asparagus
and mashed potato, I'll be down.
Sure.
Garlic mash?
I had oh man.
Garlic
oh,
mash,
man.
but
my mouth
chunky.
is watering right now.
You don't make it into a
I want the skin in it.
I want the skins and I want some chunks. Like it's fork mashed instead of like with a masher.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm a baked potato kind of guy. I like a good one. Like a twice baked potato.
Yeah, it's got to be twice baked.
you're
That's
messed
how
up,
you make
man.
them good.
You're messed up.
Yeah. No.
Chives.
I don't know what I'd get someone to make me. I would make food for them instead.
Okay, you're about to be executed. What's your last meal? Go on.
Well, it's that. Why would I choose something different than my favorite
it's the
meal?
same
No, I'm
thing.
talking about Plouffe. I
want-
like your answer. His answer is unsatisfying.
I would just want to cook it myself.
Oh my goodness, this guy's the worst.
I don't know.
They would give him nothing.
I
don't
hope,
even go
I
to-
hope both teams have fun.
I don't even go to most restaurants anymore because it's just like I'm paying $50 for something I could have done better at
Plouffe
home for
is
like half
cheap.
the money. No, I just know how to cook.
You like
and
Greek food, right? Because
I went to Greece and there was a lot of good Greek food there. Yeah.
they like lemon potatoes. I really like.
Oh,
lemon potatoes.
buddy,
Yeah.
those lemon potatoes,
So good.
They're pretty good. We made some when we came back.
Oh.
That and like a whole jar at tzatziki. And
Oh yeah, tzatziki's neat.
I grabbed a bunch of pork and chopped it up into cubes and
Yeah.
seasoned it similarly to how we season the potatoes. And
Yep.
yeah, that was also really good.
See, Plouffe likes food. He just doesn't like paying for it.
Yeah, because everything's overpriced right now and it's not hard. Steakhouses kill me more than anything. Like I cannot believe, one, how expensive steaks are these days, and two, how much they then charge you at the restaurant. All they're doing is like either pan frying it in a ton of butter or just basting butter on like an open grill. Like it's not. I don't know. It drives me crazy. I can't go to a steakhouse. I just can't do it. I worked in a butcher shop for like 3 years. I'm used to like taking home the hand-picked ribeye from the counter, and then taking it home and cooking it to like a perfect medium rare, with some butter and garlic, rosemary. Oh, delicious.
Base.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gordon Ramsay method.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like my steak rare. How about you?
Really? You're a full rare guy?
Dude, if they could just warm it up under their armpit, I would take
It's
it.
too much. I've tried it a few times.
I want that cow mooing still.
I've tried it. I just
I
can't.
wanna
do
hear
it.
I've
the
never been
cowbell.
so angry in a conversation with the two of you.
I like medium
For
rare.
just so many
What do you
different
like?
reasons.
He likes it well done.
Medium rare. Like a
Oh,
man.
that's fine.
Yeah, medium
That's
rare.
fine. I
Rare.
just like it.
I'm mad at Jamie. I'm mad at you for not answering the question. Be like, I cook it myself.
Oh, sure.
Like medium rare is fine. Like that's the way my parents cook it. But like
Anyone who cooks
if I'm
it,
gonna cook it myself, I like the cow
It's too
mooing.
chewy.
I can eat it when it's medium, but like medium well is just
If
way
you find
too
that
much.
it's too chewy, that means it wasn't aged properly.
Fair enough.
I'll never find out because I like my steak at least a little bit cooked.
No.
But hey, guys, why don't you tell us what you think? What's your favorite way to eat steak? There's a Q&A feature that you can, if you're on Spotify, you can see.
What's
it's
the
on
best?
the screen.
What's the best
What's
steak?
the best steak?
And
We
why
also
is it ribeye?
What's
rate
your
that
final
album.
verdict?
Rate that album. Give your final verdict. We'd love to see who's right and wrong. A lot of time we rub in each other's faces when we come to sit down and we look at the
We look at
interactions.
yeah. We
10
look
out
at their interactions and we say the audience was split.
10 out of 10 ribeye best steak.
10 out of 10 ribeye best steak. Sure. Okay, I'll agree with that.
I like
Hey.
the baseball cut. I don't
No.
know if that's
What
a
the
thing.
hell is a
I don't know.
baseball?
It's just
cut?
the ones that are really thick.
Oh,
Just like you, Plouffe.
I am
Thanks for listening.
triple C. Bye.